road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again.
In order to be a professional truck driver, one has to obtain a CDL, a commercial driver's license. Marion Technical College now has a course and a very high-tech simulator to make this profession a reality for those looking to hit the road.
The course is an 8-week course, 320 hours, and what we do is we take drivers without a CDL. We teach them everything there is to know about the industry, not just how to drive the truck. We teach them how to eat healthy on the road, the rules and regulations, logging, everything there is to know in the industry. We try to teach them in this 8 weeks. Normally, CDL classes on some of these other companies are 3 weeks long, and they don't get as much training. So the 8-week course is perfect to get the training that they need to become a successful driver and to need what they need to know out in the industry as far as driver fatigue, distracted driving, defensive driving. There's many scenarios, and the simulator is going to help with that because we can put them in different scenarios where we can see how they react to them scenarios, as well as to teach them the basics of driving the truck.
The features available on this simulator are just about as real world as they come.
We want to make sure that you're looking ahead far enough to see hazards, so we can have cars pulling out in front of them, we can have children standing on the side of the road, seeing if that driver's reacting to that. Fog, we can have them driving down a nice clear sunny highway, cars in front of them, make it foggy, and what we want to see is we want to see them slow down to anticipate not being able to see the car in front of them anymore, as well as snow. Are they going to start driving for the conditions that are in there? And it's going to be really good for the students because none of them's probably driven a semi in snow, I'm sure, semi at all. So it's going to give them a little of an idea of what it feels like to drive in this rain, snow, and fog before they actually get out there on the highway. And maybe that'll give them a little more confidence, and also they'll think back and say, hey, I remember on that simulator, I needed to slow down in this type of weather. And it's going to kind of work, you know, as far as knowing what they know on the simulator and taking it into knowing what they are bringing it and doing in the real truck.
With this course and simulator, MTC is hoping to do their part to help increase the numbers of drivers in this profession.
The driver shortage is huge. There's always going to be a need for truck drivers. If you got it, a truck brought it. Anything that you have in your house, your business, your car, everything gets moved by truck. So if we don't have them drivers, you're not going to have the supplies you need. So the demand is really huge, and what we're doing here is we're going to help fill the gap a little bit of that demand, and we're going to start here locally in our local companies first.
For more information on this course and other courses they provide, contact Marion Technical College at 352-671-7200 or visit them online at mariontc.edu.
This is our art history class, and it is my 6th graders. We start with the cave times. We go through history all the way up to modern times. So the cave is usually the first where art began. So we study cave art and the caves in Lascaux and all the different things that they drew. The kids make their own cave walls using crayons on brown paper. They have to do a rubbing with crayons to make it look like a cave wall, and then they use sticks. They get to pick out a stick and they use that to draw with, and they draw animals that were popular back in the cave era, and then they paint them in with watercolors. The watercolors have to be earth tones. They can't be any bright colors because that's what they had at the time.
It was fun just trying to get yourself to imagine what it'd be like to go back into cave years and see how you do back then with what resources they had. We also have them write a story and illustrate it about if they were a cave teenager. And because they wouldn't have any of the modern devices that they have now, how would they live? How would they brush their teeth? What would they do? What would they wear? How would they eat? And
it's really fun. They get very creative. They come up with funny names and exciting adventures, and then they illustrate them.
I found that there were a lot of things that we take for granted nowadays that they didn't have back then. Like, I'm always thinking that we could just easily get a lot of stuff, and they couldn't do that because they didn't have the tools to even try and imagine that.
I learned that it's much different from now. We have soft pillows, we have clothes to put on our bodies. They didn't have stuff to wash really well with and wash and brush their hair with and their teeth with, so it's much different from what we have.
Then we move on to Egyptian after the caves. Then they learn hieroglyphs. They create their own names out of the Egyptian lettering, and they're called cartouches, and they have to write them and draw it and paint it.
It's more fun than a book report because you can use your creativity and your imagination to draw and think about different things opposed to just a book.
They love to do this. It's fun. It's more hands-on, entertaining, and yet they're still learning some history too along with it.
Ready? Come on now. Are you ready? Ready? All righty. 1, 2, 3. Success! Thank you, bud.
If kids are not raised,
that's all it took to usher in the first of its kind student and animal reading room.
So welcome to the Bow Wow Reading Room, and the Bow Wow Reading Room came to fruition out of a vision from Dr. Mayer and Bruce Fishlow from the Humane Society of Marion County. And basically what we wanted to do was give our students here at Oakcrest an additional opportunity to promote reading and literacy here at Oakcrest.
Just before the ribbon cutting, we were treated to a vocal experience from some of our very own Oakcrest students.
Mom won't watch the news at night. There's too much stuff that's making her cry. Down here on earth.
I had the unique opportunity to get involved and have it become a kind of a semi-permanent position here at Oakcrest, and we were able to provide this room so that we can have a permanent location for our students to enjoy the reading to the animals once every other week throughout the school year. The concept behind the reading room is not only to promote literacy, but also to promote humane education to our students. And by providing this repetitive opportunity for our students, we're hoping that they will also enjoy and grow that love of reading that we're trying to instill in our children.
We all understand the love of reading, but why read to dogs and cats, and how does this benefit the students?
And we know that it's important to read to children, but sometimes it's also important to allow our children to read out loud to others. And by reading to the animals, they're judgment-free, so it provides kind of a safe environment so our children know that they can read to them, nobody's going to correct them, nobody's going to make them embarrassed or nervous, and so that gives them a unique opportunity to interact, and we're hoping that that transfers to home as well.
Last Tuesday was the 17th anniversary of 9/11. The birthday of our national anthem is a neighboring date of September 14th. Maplewood Elementary participated in a nationwide sing-along of our national anthem in order to spread U.S. pride and patriotism and honoring the resilience of America and Americans over time, whether it be 9/11 or the War of 1812. Here is their rendition.